What's up, guys? This is Alex here from 814EDC. Thank you so much for stopping back in and for checking out my channel and for checking out this video. Today I'm ready to do my full review on a knife that has really grown on me, and that is the Ferrum Forge Stinger. The Stinger is obviously designed and thought of by Ferrum Forge. It is produced by I believe, We or Civivi, which they're the same company. And Ferrum Forge it's kind of, they don't have a ton of models out, but they have a lot of really, the models they do have out, they're really good. They're very thoughtful designs. They're sort of simple, but sort of elaborate, I guess I would say, but they're just a really cool company, and this is the first knife that I've experienced by them, and it's really good. So we're just going to jump into materials here, and kind of, a really stout positive for this knife is it comes in Nitro V blade steel, which is kind of rare, I would say, for pocket knives, especially of this price range. But I feel like you don't see Nitro V on too many folding knives. I think you see it more on like fixed blades and stuff like that. So, and Nitro V is really good, and I've been happy with it since I've got this knife. And it's a cool blade still. You don't see it very often. So now this is just a simple drop point, very simple, simplistic blade. I think it's a flat grind. Again, I'm not very good with deciphering between the grinds and stuff like that, but it's pretty thin behind the edge. This thing is super thin. It's a really nice slicer. You have a fuller on both sides, which works really well. I'd say it's a stone wash, which is nice. I used to be more of a satin guy, which, don't get me wrong, I still love a good satin blade, but stone wash has really started to grow on me because it hides wear and tear a little bit easier than satin, and it doesn't attract fingerprints as much. So I really like the stone wash done on this. It contrasts with the Coyote Tan G10 scales really well. So yeah, we have G10, which is really nicely done. It has a nice texture to it. It's not, kind of right in that sweet spot between too grippy and not grippy enough, so I really like that. The pivot has a really cool design here with the Ferrum Forge logo. I like how they did that. I like when knives and companies incorporate stuff like that into the design. It is a liner lock. It has some jimping up top here, which is spaced out nicely, and it's very comfortable when you're in your fully grip. It has a nice front forward finger choil, and then it has a loop over style deep carry pot clip, which is done incredibly well. And it's also, I would qualify this as like a mini deep carry pot clip. It sort of reminds me of like the bug outs pot clip, and I really like that, and I really like this one too. I love when companies do deep carry clips, but they're shorter and kind of smaller. It makes the knife so much better for me. So really big fan of that. And then you just have a G10 backspacer, the same tan color as the scales. Now the scales are skeletonized on one side really well. Pretty, there's like 8 cutouts, which is nice, and then the liner lock side is just full, has no skeletonization. Well, no, I take that back. There is like 3 in there. But the knife is very lightweight. That's another perk that I think this knife has going for it. So yeah, I think that's everything for materials. So we're just going to jump into action. I guess also this knife does have a flipper. I kind of forgot about that. So there's 2 ways of opening the knife. Well, technically 3, I guess. You have the flipper tab, and then you have the fullers on both sides. So you can flip it by this. The flipper action it's okay. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. The way I've taken this apart once, I think, and I cleaned it up and I put some lube on it. And I like to have my knives with no blade play, which this has maybe like a hair, not much at all. So it's pretty locked up. And with that, the flipper does fail sometimes, like you can see there. If you don't like really press it a ton, it's very susceptible to failing. But then other times, I mean, as long as you like give it some gas, it's going to flip right out. But where the knife really shines is with the fullers, excuse me. On both sides, you can spidey flick or middle finger flick, and it just flies out of there. The detent is tuned perfectly for a middle finger flick. It's really, really good. That's my favorite way of opening a knife in general, and I mean, the flipper isn't bad on this, don't get me wrong, but the middle finger flick is definitely where it's at with this knife. The detent, like I said, is just tuned really, really nicely, and it flies out of there. Now it's a little bit hard to do, but you can use your thumb and thumb flick it out. It's not as comfortable as a middle finger flick, but you definitely can. But yeah, middle finger flicking is definitely the way to go with this type of knife. So, and then obviously, like I said, you have a liner lock here, which you have a little bit of the G10 cut out, not a whole lot. But you have pretty good access. I don't have to really shove my finger up there too much. And, with the closing, mine definitely is not drop shutty. It's decently smooth, but it could be better. I don't know if this is just mine, but when I close it, it drops and the flipper tab hits my nail. And then I usually just shake it once or twice or 3 times, depending on how, my arm's positioned for that. So, again, you just open it, hits my nail, and then if you shake it good enough, it'll drop close. But mine's definitely not drop shutty. It's decently smooth, but not drop shutty by any means. So, but yeah, the middle finger flick is really, really nicely done and nicely tuned for this knife. So, if you can't middle finger flick, definitely learn how to. So next we're going to go over Ergos. Ergos are another shining star for this knife. I mean, look how thin this knife is, guys. Just super thin, super lightweight. I think the blade's like, I think it's right at 3 or maybe a little bit less than 3. I'm not a super huge specs guy, so I kind of forget off the top of my head. But Ergos, you have the handle's fairly neutral. It does have kind of an arching back going here. Not huge, but it's a very neutral handle shape. No real curves or anything besides when you're using the forward finger choil, where your middle finger will go. And with this grip, your hand just gets locked in. I feel so comfortable using this. You can get up and you can do light work, you can do heavy work. It's a very, very good grip to be in. And even, if you're not using the choil, I can still get all 4 fingers on there. And with the jimping up top here, it's still very, very comfortable. Saber grip is my preferred method of handling it. Hammer grip is still really comfortable. Reverse draw cut, I think this is called, is comfortable. You can hold it like this. Really, any way you're holding the knife is going to be comfortable, just because of that forward finger choil and the neutrality of the handle shape. So, yeah, Ergos are very, very good. I love how this thing. I love this knife in general. So, next is carry, and as you can probably tell, carry is going to be very, very good as well. So you do have a loop over style, deep carry clip, like I've said. It goes to the butt end of the knife. The pot clip's real small. This thing just rides in the pocket incredibly well. The only thing I guess you could say bad about carry is the flipper tab kind of sticks out here. So like if your hand is going in and out for like your wallet or your phone or whatever you have in that pocket, you might hit that, but for the most part, it's really, really well done. The knife is a smaller knife. It has a really good pot clip. It's a lightweight knife. That has the recipe for success when it comes to how well a knife carries. So, and this is no, slacker in that category. So, yeah, if I had to give like materials, action, ergos, and carry a grade, I would have to give everything. Action maybe, unlike the flipper, maybe like a B, but the middle finger flick with the fuller, an A+. Everything else is like an A+. This knife is just really, really well done. and I haven't even got to the price point yet, which is my next, kind of category. I kind of top everything off with, and you know, I just I couldn't recommend this knife enough to somebody. Now that I'm finally experiencing it and I'm finally able to have my own, because I did wait a little bit to get it. I was gonna get it around Christmas time, but they had all sold out from every retailer that I could find, and so I did wait a little bit to get it. But luckily, I did find one on Amazon. I think it was through Chicago Knife Works, I believe, or something like that. They sell through Amazon, and I got it for like $80. I think retail they go for like 90 or 95, and I've seen them as low as like 70 or 75. So you can find them anywhere in that price range. But even at the full MSRP, 90 or 95 bucks, I forget which it is. I think it's 90. This knife is really really well done. Jake over at Bearded Gear, whenever he did like his top 10 knives, I think he did a couple months ago. I think it was definitely last year, I believe. He said that this was his favorite knife in the sub $100 category, and I can see why. It's just really really well done, and it's still really really cool to me that you get Nitro V in a production folder. That's just kind of mind boggling, because it's a really really good steel. And like I said, you don't see that very often on folders. You see it more often on like custom fixed blades and stuff like that. It's definitely not it is a well known steel, but it's not a widely used steel, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And having that on a folder for sub $100, maybe even sub 90, 85, depending on what sale you can find it on or what website, that's just such a good deal. And just combined with everything else, Ferrum Forge, I think they're based out of San Diego or somewhere in Southern California. So they're a U.S. company. They're using WE to make their knives, and WE is, they're a very, very good manufacturer out of China. They make really good products, and just combined with like the materials you're getting, a really good pot clip. It's very lightweight. The G10's nicely done. I mean, I just can't see how you could go wrong with picking one of these up. I think that you should add one of these to your collection if you have not had one yet. Don't wait like I did. Definitely jump on it. I've only heard good things about this knife. I don't think I've heard a single bad review about it. And there's some customizability. I think that's what I'm looking for. They're kind of coming out with more scales. I know Cerberus Knives, I believe, made some like micarta and G10 scales for this. So they're starting to come out with more stuff for it to kind of add to your own flavor and your own taste for it. So yeah, guys, I couldn't recommend this knife enough. It's definitely grown on me a ton. I had a lot of good expectations for it when it came in. Don't get me wrong. I didn't get it and think, oh, I'm gonna hate this knife. I got it thinking I was gonna like it, and it's kind of exceeded that. So yeah, like I said, if you have not experienced one, definitely go look for one and try to snag one. You won't regret it. So hey guys, that's really all I had to talk about today. This was the full review of the Ferrum Forge Stinger. Really really good offering. One of the better sub $100 knives that I've experienced, and it's on the market today, I think. So yeah guys, that's it. I appreciate you watching this video. I don't really say this enough, but I really appreciate those of you who come in and watch most of all my videos and leave comments and subscribe. It means the world to me. I love talking to you guys. So if you're new, consider clicking that subscribe button and checking out my content. I have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and I'm really really excited for it. So thanks for stopping in, guys, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.